Hello, this is Kazi Afroza MIM. Today I am going to present my final paper, which is a literature review, and the topic is Sociocultural versus Socio-Political Theories of Teaching, a critical overview. This paper reviews the literature on the socio-cultural theories and socio-political theories of teaching. Several studies regarding the socio-cultural theories and socio-political theories of teaching and learning have been conducted. This literature review follows the chronological order for the contributions of significant studies of different time periods. Introduction: Sociocultural Theory. Lev Vygotsky was one of the Soviet psychologists whose theories in the field of education and educational psychology played a significant role. Vygotsky discussed that the development of child's language learning process begins with the interaction with other people. He also discussed that the sociocultural theory has three major components. They are number one, culture, number two, language, number three, zone of proximal development. Socio-political theory. In 1985, Auerbach and Burgess addressed that the purpose for and contexts of English language teaching and learning was focused on the hidden curriculum was then known as survival English. On the basis of the relationship between what happens in the classroom and what learners were experiencing outside the classroom, they showed that these curricula make the students ready to obey unquestioning social roles and supports hierarchical relations. In 1993, Auerbach argued that it is far more effective to permit learners to practice their first language, and teachers' objection to this practice was at least partly affected by the influence of ideology, power, and teacher-student roles. Major themes of the socio-cultural learning theory, culture. Vygotsky discussed that the culture is built with the use of tools and symbols that makes the difference between human beings and animals. A learner can gain the knowledge when he or she gets involved with the tools provided by the culture. Learners' development of knowledge expands when the tools of a culture appears. Sociocultural theory emphasizes that teachers should understand the human mind from both the historical and cultural point of view. Language. Vygotsky states in the sociocultural theory, human beings are capable of learning language through social interactions. In this regard, sociocultural theory depends on the idea that learners' experience have three phases of speech development. Firstly, they must connect in the social environment, which starts at the age of 2. This is recognized as social speech. In the second phase, they will learn about private speech. This starts at the age of 3. This happens when the learners express their thoughts aloud. Finally, the phase of inner speech happens. This starts at the age of 7, which conducts the form of ideas which stays in our minds and directly influence our actions or thoughts. Zone of proximal development, ZPD. ZPD is the difference between what learners can do without help, and with help. It is all about learning and development. The learning should be targeted at learners' possible development, but not at learning things, what they can do independently. ZPD has three different stages. The first circle represents what learners can do by themselves without any educational guidance. And the next stage is what learners can do with help, that means with the help of teacher and peers. This stage is the stage of zone of proximal development. Then the outer circle represents what learners cannot do. The similarities between the concepts, socio-cultural theory, the six factors. Rentauli Maria Silalahi mentioned in 2019 that there are six factors that are important to be present to develop someone's zone of proximal development. They are number one, the importance of assistance, number two, the importance of mediation, number three, the importance of mutual cooperation, number four, the importance of imitation, number five, the importance of target, number six, the importance of crisis. Among these six factors, I would like to briefly discuss about the importance of mediation. First, we need to understand what is mediation. Mediation works between two to solve a problem. Here, other people of the society, language, or speech works as mediation. Now look at the figure. The figure clearly illustrates the triangle relationship between the learner as subject, then the artifacts as mediation comprise or make up with the more capable who provides guidance, and language as a tool to collaborate between the learner and the other person. And then the purpose as object, which is targeted to be completed by the learner with the presence of the assistants. Socio-Political Theory. In 2010, Husseini contends from the perspective of cognitive socio-political language learning theory, language is a socio-political fact that is the basis of human prosperity. Language progresses by interacting with one another and contributes to their analytical or reasoning abilities. Strong minded individuals who are naturally reasonable would have more prosperous social relationships and would more successfully contribute to societies and world peace. Now look at the figure 3. From the perspective of the researcher, social interaction, language development, reasoning abilities, learning, successful relationships, social development, and world peace are inseparably connected. The importance of the concepts in linguistics. Sociocultural theory and the second language learning. In 2006, Landolf and Thorne addressed and made connection between second language acquisition with the sociocultural theories such as internalization, regulation, the zone of proximal development, and the genetic method. They also discuss the purpose of the process of interactive and person environment interaction, which helps to develop internal mental function. They also represented the significance of imitation in learning and development. They viewed the zone of proximal development as not only a theory, but also as a pedagogical tool that teachers can implement to understand students' development. The importance of the socio-cultural theory is in the understanding of cognitive development and also influence that development. Implications and relevance of socio-cultural theory in language learning. In 2000, Donato found that sociocultural theory contradicts from cognitive approaches. In cognitive approaches, learning a language go through several internal processes where each learner is individually responsible for gaining the knowledge. On the other hand, sociocultural theory views that the successful language learning occurs through teacher student collaborative participation in the classroom activities. The zone of proximal development ensures teacher and learners to help each other in the process of learning. The importance of socio-political theories. According to Husseini 2010, learners are socio-politically set instead of separated distinct in communities, and language is a tool for socio-political relations and presentation of socio-political transactions between individuals and communities. Discussion. Sociocultural theory. In sociocultural theories of language learning and teaching, zone of proximal development is not only a model of developmental series of actions, but also based on mental concepts and pedagogical tool to carry out a particular function that teachers can use to understand students' different learning stages. Sociocultural theory can be used to develop educational processes and environments. The key components of the methods and practices of teaching appears from the socio-cultural theory that gives students priority and moral independence. In this way, students can share their views and ideas, which enhances their critical thinking abilities and make them creative to generate their own ideas. Socio-political theory. Learners are not separated from the societies and communities. They are situated in the socio-political environment. Therefore, communication and sharing views with each other, language development, critical thinking abilities, successful social relationships, everything is internally connected with each other. Conclusion. This paper emphasizes socio-cultural theories and socio-political theories' principal concepts. The knowledge of socio-cultural theory and socio-political theory can be beneficial for teachers to explore and develop ways to establish tasks and activities which facilitate language learning. References. Thank you.